today's show, we have an arcade special featuring Ridge Racer Unbounded, Dirt Showdown, and Trials Evolution. Welcome to Inside Sim Racing. I'm Sean Cole, and I'm here with my good buddy, Darren Ganji.
Hey, everybody.
And we're here for a very special or different kind of show. And today's show is all about, well, warning! All of you hardcore sim racers out there, the people who think a sim game should be nothing but physics, realism, and everything else.
Whoa. You said the word sim.
Yeah.
We need to change the title of our name, actually, for this show. It is not Inside Sim Racing.
Nope.
This is Inside Arcade Gaming, Arcade Racing.
That is so true. And so, back to the story. If you are a hardcore sim racer and you have no interest in arcade games, games that are intended to be fun, not ultra realistic, then
let's stop there. I have a lot of fun with sim racing titles.
Yes.
So you're saying that sim racing is not fun.
You're right. You're right. I think by the end of the show they'll know what we mean. So, but if you are that hardcore sim racer and that's all anything should be to you, you tune out right now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, if you like Sean said, if you don't, we're checking out Ridge Racer Unbounded, Dirt Showdown preview, and Trials Evolution. So if none of those titles pique your interest at all, tune out right now. So Sean, why don't we start things with Ridge Racer Unbounded.
All right.
Wow, look at that dramatic looking scene there.
That is very dramatic.
Final Fantasy? Or?
So Ridge Racer Unbounded came out in March of this year, and it's actually the next installment in a very long line of games that go back all the way to 1993.
I'd like to say that I've tried any of these in this series, and I honestly haven't. So, Sean?
I played a couple variations. I don't remember which ones exactly, but I mean, again, it might have been 10 years ago, might have been 6 years ago for the other one. So it's been a long time, and this is the latest version.
So it actually is available for the PC, PS3, and the Xbox 360. We've got the Xbox 360.
Yeah, we're going to test everything on the Xbox 360 today.
So, a little bit about this title. The latest version of this game has taken a new direction with much focus being placed upon destruction. The game is still based on racing, but extra points and turbo can be obtained by destroying objects in your path. The objects can range from gas stations to buildings, barriers, or most importantly, your competition. At the end of the race, if you have finished in the top 3, you are awarded points to unlock new racing areas and faster cars. If you fail the top 3, then you will not have passed that event and you might need to pass it later for a trophy that's needed to level up.
Absolutely. And as you do level up, you'll start opening up new cities or areas or regions that you can go to. They'll open up multiple events in each region. Most events are straightforward races, and some are more like challenges than races where obtaining drift points or destroying vehicles being the goal. This will affect which of your unlocked cars that you choose because each car has different attributes that might make it better suited for each event. Some are faster and better handling, some drift better, and some are built very tough. Choose your weapon wisely. The car in game seems to resemble cars of real life that we are familiar with, but not the actual models. All of the racing is done on fantasy tracks. You're not going to find any Monaco, any Nürburgring, or any other real life track for that matter.
Also, a portion of the game is based on building your own tracks or cities. You can design the layout, pick items on the track like jumps or explosives, and when you're happy with it, you can upload it for the world to check out. You can currently find over 3,000 tracks uploaded in the multiplayer area. You can also race online with up to 8 players in the typical Xbox multiplayer, and I'm assuming on the PS3 and the PS3 matchmaking where if you host it, you're hosting.
Yeah, or you just join a random race, it seems. So other things, that's everything they'd want you to know about the game essentially. Now let's kind of move on to our thoughts about the game after having played it.
Well, I watched him play it. I honestly, we'll just go to basically his take on it, but I agree with everything. I watched him play. I just didn't feel enticed to play it. It didn't seem like anything I would enjoy, to be honest. Based on other titles, there's been stuff that looks like it's been done better.
And that's the thing. You hit upon it right there. It's been done better. I've seen this game in various other forms, Split Second being one of them, where I was sucked into the game and I love playing. In the case of Ridge Racer Unbounded, that is not the case. I found the game to be, I hate to say it, boring. It was not captivating.
Yeah, and as we were watching, I didn't even see anything that exciting going on, and the graphics were just okay. I mean, they were decent, but it didn't look like anything that was just blowing me away. I mean, turbo streaks. I don't know.
Here's the other thing for me. If you're going to make a game that is focused on crashing and destruction, then things like damage models should be exceptional, or replays should be over the top. And none of that was there. It's like, yeah, your car kind of got tore up. Yeah, you got a little replay, your car kind of rolling, but it wasn't very dramatic, being that that's the focus of the whole game.
So speaking of focus, there was another frag your opponent.
Frag.
And again, we're talking arcade here, so it's cool if you're going to blow stuff up. And this isn't a, we've changed our name to Inside Arcade Games for this one, and arcade racing games, but.
Frag?
Yeah, so what was going on there?
If I had a button and I shot a missile and it exploded, frag.
Dude, I hope you have footage of that.
Frag?
Looked like that one boring, I mean, there was just some boring stuff, but that one where you're driving the diesel truck and you're just going in a straight line trying to ram the other diesel truck?
Yes, and the only thing when you frag is their definition for exploding your opponent. And the only way to do it is by hitting him. And it's not even like tear him up, or it's just, if you hit him with your turbo on, it's enough to frag your opponent, or buildings and things like that. Anyway, it was kind of lost on me in that concept.
So what about the track creator? I kind of like the ability to create your own tracks. Not that I have the patience to do it, but...
I messed around with it a little bit, and it is simple, and it looked like it did have the ability to kind of do some cool things. However, how hard am I going to work for a game that is boring, not captivating, not graphically enthusiastic? I don't know. So for me, why bother? Even though it looked like you could do cool stuff. I mean, you could put a jump where you wanted it, you could put a dirt pile where you wanted it, explosions where you wanted it. So it had the cool thing, but again, the game engine wasn't strong enough to bother with. The bottom line is I really don't have anything nice to say about this game. We considered giving it a rev scale. Do we even want to give it a rev scale?
How about a rent scale?
Rent scale, whether it's even
worth a rental?
I don't think so. I wouldn't waste the whole postal service on it, to be honest with you.
Or we have a Blockbuster around the corner and we could just go walk and get it, and I wouldn't rent this game.
No.
We gave it to Warren to borrow, and he got excited because he liked the original Ridge Racer, and had it for a week or two, and like, hey man, you got to bring it back so we can take a look at it. And he's like, you're not going to be too excited about it.
No. I'm embarrassed to have it on my gamer tag.
That's right. That was Warren's comment. He was embarrassed to have it on his gamer tag that he played that game. So that's what Warren will tell you. Dub Dizzle, who's one of our editor and good buddy. But so what do we got next? Dirt Showdown?
Dirt Showdown.
I think we need to switch up here.
All right, time to get that
switched. Let's do a little switcheroo here. All right, welcome back to our arcade special, and it's time for a little Dirt Showdown. And we already started covering this. Sean went and interviewed one of the developers from this title. And I have to mention that show got some of the most thumbs downs that we've ever had. And I hope it wasn't because of Sean's interview quality, because it was actually, I thought, a good interview. But you guys are all down on Dirt Showdown, and we just beat the crap out of Ridge Racer. And, I want to just give a shout out to all the people that say we give 9s to everything, because we obviously didn't give Ridge Racer a 9. We're not going to rate Dirt Showdown yet, because it's not out yet. You can get the demo for it, so a lot of you already may have tried it. This is, again, not a sim title, which is why it's right in the middle of our arcade racing special here. Codemasters is coming out with it. Sean, let's tell them a little bit about it, and then tell them what we think so far.
All right, well, the demo version, which became available on May 1st, is a very limited version of the game, and it's going to give you a taste of different types of things they have going on in the game.
So is this, unfortunately. This is actually a preview copy on our dev kit, our Xbox dev kit, but I haven't tried the demo, but I'm assuming it's very
I think it's
similar.
the same from what I've seen. It's giving you, again, just a few of the different events. So in that first interview that we did, we saw one of the Demolition Derby arenas, and now everyone can try that arena out. And there is the second arena, the one that's up on a platform. You got to kind of do that King of the Mountain where you drive your car up onto the platform. And it's still that Demolition Derby, so anything you do...
That was fun.
That was so much fun. You get to knock cars off of it, and it was a lot of fun. The other event that we got to see is a different track, I believe, than the one I tested originally, and it was one of these figure-8 type courses. So it's a straightforward race in terms of the one to get to the checkered flag first wins. However, gosh, you're really encouraged to knock your opponents out of the race, or at least hammer them. It's going to make it a lot easier to get to the finish line sooner.
Yeah, and basically what Codemasters has done, they've stripped down the Dirt engine. So the physics are definitely a lot more on the arcade side, a lot easier to handle. We were easily able to drive with this.
Yes.
Did not need to hook up the wheel, which actually was cool.
We did hook up a wheel, and it was way cool.
Yeah, we ran it with the Fanatic CSR wheel, and it was cool. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know, you can do Hoonigan stuff. There's going to be all sorts of stuff you can do. And that's really as far as we're going to take this piece. I mean, there's not much more. You know, we can't really go in depth because
I will say
one
thing about the Hoonigan, I didn't know what that was. So it took me a while to figure out that was sort of the substitution for the Gymkhana stuff. And the Hoonigan event that they have on there, you actually have to go through the course in a certain way and hit certain obstacles in a particular direction. So it wasn't freestyle like we've done in Gymkhana and Dirt 3. So the career path has sort of a similar to Dirt 3 career path in that, or similar to Ridge Racer if you really want to put a nail on it, but it's that win trophies to unlock new levels, to unlock faster cars. So you're going to need a certain amount of trophies to unlock the next level, and so on and so on. In the beginning, you can't do everything right off the bat. You got to work your way up.
Yeah, and I'd like to thank Codemasters for teasing the heck out of us with this, because we sat here one night, like, perfecting everything to try to get enough points to get to the next level, because we were enjoying this, and we're going to get to that in a second. And we were stuck. It wouldn't let you, it's just like you wouldn't advance, and I don't know what the demo does again. Maybe the demo does the same thing, but man, we were bummed.
we were rerunning events over and over and over just to see maybe if we kept getting golds, it'd be enough. No, can't do that.
Didn't happen. So again, we're not going to review this title. This is just a preview. We're really looking forward to trying the full version.
Absolutely.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with Dirt now that they have like full arcade. Is that one going to be full rally?
I hope so. And you talked about the thumbs down we got. I'm sure that's the reason why. It's those guys who want the rally game, you know, Dirt 4, whatever it might be.
So yeah, we're really looking forward to this. You know, one of the things we're looking forward to trying is multiplayer and smashing the heck out of each other. You know, some of the figure 8 tracks or even the like the King of the Hill.
Oh my God.
That'll be a blast.
It was fun enough going against computer players who battle you pretty tough. It's not very easy at all. But I can't even imagine if the names out there were Darren and Terry or the rest of my Xbox friends. That would just make it insanely fun.
Yep, I agree. So that's going to wrap up our coverage of Dirt Showdown, at least this preview of Dirt Showdown. More to come as soon as the title's available. We'll do a full review of it, and we will do a disclaimer at the beginning that this is in an arcade racing game.
Yes.
Not a sim racing game. We should start a new channel. Inside Arcade Racing, just to cover those.
That would be kind of cool.
Someone's going to steal that from us.
We should do it right now.
We should. So next up, Trials Evolution. Got to do another switcheroo because we got to take our dev box down. So another quick break. We'll be back. Trials Evolution.
take your hobby to the next level with a quality racing rig that works great with a PS3, Xbox 360, and a PC. GT Omega Racing Simulator is compatible with a wide range of steering wheels, including Logitech, Fanatec, Thrustmaster, and more. The GT Omega is available now worldwide by going to www.gtomegaracing.com.
Welcome back to our arcade special, and next up on the show is Trials Evolution by Red Lynx, which I'm going to admit right off the bat, I have spent the last 5 days playing this game straight. I love this game so much, and in fact...
I didn't even get a chance to play it.
First time he's actually getting a chance. So I went ahead and put a whole piece together showing you everything you need to know about Trials Evolution, and while Darren plays a little bit, why don't we check out that video. Trials Evolution is the next version of the game we tried out a while ago called Trials HD. Red Lynx had actually made an even simpler version way back in time and have continued to expand on the highly popular game. Trials Evolution is for the Xbox 360 and can only be purchased through the Microsoft Game Marketplace for 1,200 Microsoft points. To give you an idea what Trials Evolution is all about, or for anyone who has never heard of Trials riding, let me tell you a little about it. Trials is the art of balancing two-wheeled vehicles and navigating treacherous terrain that would not normally be passable on such vehicles. Utilizing weight transfer, torquey motors, and touchy brakes, riders can pass over objects in life-threatening fashion. In an arcadish, bombs-a-blasting way, Trials Evolution is doing the same thing. Trials Evolution can be played in two different modes, single player and multiplayer. In single player mode, or career mode as I like to call it, it has a few different things that you can do. Starting off the track, you have a garage where you can change out your rider's look with different gear that can be worn. Prize money won during races can be used to buy new gear. You can also change the color of your bikes that you own in the garage area. There's also a stats section that shows off your medal count and levels. And you can also check up on your friends here and see how their careers have progressed as well. Then we move on to the Go Race section where the fun is to be had. Things start off with your D license. This is sort of a playable tutorial on how to handle the basics of your first bike, the 125cc called the Rattler. Once completed, you move on to the D-level trials events called a Walk in the Park with 5 different beginner levels to complete. From there, it's on to the C license test running on the more powerful 250cc bike called the Piranha. After that tutorial is completed, you've opened up the C-level trials events and can now use either the 125 or the 250cc bike. You've now opened up new levels to ride, and when enough trophies are won, you will open up the B-level test and events as well. From there, the game continues on, opening up new, harder levels and more powerful bikes. There are also a couple other areas to ride in here. You have the tournament mode, which progressively gets harder each level without having to go through the entire career mode to achieve harder levels. So for those of you looking for harder challenges right out of the gate, they can be found there in tournament mode. And then there's the skill game circus that in the last version was one of my favorite parts of the game. There are new challenges here that are plenty of fun and a slight diversion from the normal parts of the game. In total, you will find over 50 different stages that range in length and difficulty within the game. Now let's move on to the multiplayer part of the game. Trials Evolution actually has multiplayer with up to 4 players simultaneously. It's kind of cool and very much like playing single player mode, except for that it's a side-by-side, sort of like a soapbox derby race. You can join a quick match or a supercross, and then there are 2 more levels for multiplayer that you can unlock with experience. Beyond the game mode, the game also has a Track Central section where you can download others' tracks, or create your own using their Lite and Pro editors included with the game. I found the editors to be a bit tricky to use, and with so many great tracks to download from others that I didn't even need to make my own. But for those of you that like creating tracks, it looks very powerful and almost limitless to what you can do. There are also online leaderboards with scores and rankings being kept for a variety of different disciplines. In typical Xbox game fashion, you can also win achievements for certain in-game bonuses, as well as a DLC area for more content. Now let's move on to the gameplay. When playing Trials Evolution, you will notice some great graphics going on. There are crazy explosions going on, planes flying by, and endless amounts of obstacles to be conquered. There are stages that run in day or night, and the lighting and shading in the game are top-notch. Controlling the rider is fairly simple with very few controls to worry about. You have a trigger for gas, a trigger for brake, and then using the joypad you can lean your rider forward and back. Pretty simple. You don't actually steer the rider back and forth, and the game runs directionally from left to right. In the previous version of the game, the view was locked to the side, and the rider did only go one direction. Now the game has added a new dimension, with the track actually turning left and right, but it's only for visual because you're not actually steering the bike still. While out on the track, you will need to use a combination of power and rider balance to get over obstacles. Some will require tons of gas, and others might require a delicate touch and a proper transfer of weight to cross. At times, you can practically make your bike jump or bunny hop just by using those techniques. The track at times can feel like a puzzle as you find yourself searching for the combination that gets you to the next stage. Wipe out, and you can start at the beginning or at the last checkpoint crossed. When you finally cross the finish line, you are scored by your time and the amount of faults or crashes that you have. That will then put you on the leaderboard, and you will see how you compare to your friends. And speaking of friends list, while you are riding, you will see a position indicator letting you know on the fly how you compare to your friends. The beginning levels are fairly easy, and most people will blow right through them with a bronze or silver medal. Obtaining the gold level will take a little more track knowledge and to hit all your marks to get a gold level time. As things progress, the stages get longer and much more difficult. By the time you get to the higher levels, you will find some objects almost impossible to cross. You might find yourself hitting it over and over and over until you finally learn the trick to get through that obstacle. And one of my favorite things about Trials Evolution is the crashes. This game is all about terrible bone-breaking wipeouts. Miss your marks on a jump, and you might land on a couple of cans of gas that explode on contact, sending your rider flying through the air. Or in the case of motorsports, when you win, you are usually greeted with champagne and photo opportunities. That's not the case in Trials Evolution. Finish a stage, and you are usually blown up again or sent hurtling off a mountaintop. I like to call them unhappy endings. All in all, I have to say that I love Trials Evolution. This game is so much fun and so easy to get into. This is the perfect game for diversion from the norm for me. It's still racing, it's still motorsports, but add in the puzzle game factor, add in the explosions, and it's a great way to spend a night gaming. And therefore, it's very easy for me to give Trials Evolution a 10 out of 10 on the rev scale. There's a demo version that I highly suggest you try out. It has a few tracks and games to play as well, just to taste out the game. There's also a little bit of the track creator that you can play with. If you find that you like or love the game, the full version can be purchased for 1,200 Microsoft points, which is about 15 bucks. So I hope you've enjoyed this review of Trials Evolution as much as I've enjoyed playing the game. So now you've got my overall opinion, my total take on this game, and now Darren's had an opportunity to play it a little bit. So I gave it a 10 out of 10. What are your feelings on it?
I give it a 1. This game sucks. It's horrible. No, I'm just kidding. This game is awesome. I also give it a 10. You know what? It's one of those games that you pick up or you see somebody playing it and you're like, I want to try that level. Let me try to get by that level. And what's great about it too, I love how, you know, anybody on your friends list that's played it, you can see their name, you know, bobbing around, and I just love that feature. I honestly haven't tried it in the multiplayer stuff because you saw pretty much all I've got to play it. But yeah, it's a great diversion title. For 15 bucks, it's well worth the purchase. One of those games that I would be proud to have, and I do have on my gamer tag thanks to this guy. He played it, nothing on my account. So anyway, yeah, I agree with the 10, 100%, and definitely worth the purchase in my opinion.
The other thing that I don't think I really hit upon in that piece, and you've given it a 10 now, it comes down to the amount of hours you could play. I mean, again, I played 5 solid days. I'm probably about halfway through the game, and then you still get back to your friends list and beating time. So I don't know if you'd ever really be done with a game like this.
No, and you can go back and try to master different levels. Even if you do get a gold on it, you can go back and try to beat all your friends. Try it with different bikes, you know, because the different bikes with the different torque specs and all that stuff, it's just, man, it's a blast. Great job, Red Lynx, and hope you guys are doing another one because I want to see what you guys come up with in the next iteration.
Or you mentioned it, maybe a phone version.
Yeah, I'd love, you know, games on phones are getting awesome. I'd love to be able to have this on my phone.
I'm sure it's in the works. So that's going to pretty much do it for our first official arcade special. We've covered plenty of arcade games, but I think we finally made that distinction or line in the sand. We've built the section in our website to host games like this for the future as well.
And for the past, we're going to put all games that we've covered, you know, like the Ridge Racer Split Second, the original Trials review that we did, that'll be in that section. So, you know, if you're looking for a diversion and you're getting a little burnout on the hectic sim racing scene, because it can be hectic. We talked about fun at the beginning. I love hardcore sim racing. It is a lot of fun, but it can be stressful.
Yeah.
Terry was over here racing last night and running right here behind us and yelling and screaming because of the race that he was, you know, going through. So it can be stressful, but a lot of fun. These are great diversion titles where you don't have to stress about who your opponent is or this, you know, tweaking that tire pressures or whatever to get the last little bit out of your setup. You just arrive and drive. Have fun.
So that's going to wrap it up for our arcade special. I'm Sean Cole for Darren Ganji. We'll see you on the track.
Or the trail.